If your goal is to gain strength or build muscle, you want to make sure that you're lifting heavy enough. We're going to talk about a few different methods that you can use in order to make sure that you're doing so. Hi, I'm Catherine. I'm the personal trainer and running coach of Kathletics. Here at Kathletics, we're all about meeting you where you are in your fitness so you can approach hybrid training in a sustainable way. Whether you're brand new to lifting or if you've been lifting for several years, you may or may not be familiar with what lifting heavy actually feels like. And that doesn't mean that you haven't been seeing progress over the years or months that you've been doing this, but we need to make sure that we are pushing the weights in order to see the progress you seek, especially if strength and muscle building is part of your goal or are part of your goals. There are a few ways that you can tell if you are lifting heavy enough, and one of them is going to be if you're doing a tempo, so say you're going up for 2, down for 2 for a chest press. If toward the end of your set, so say you're going for 8 reps, and then 6, 7, and 8 are all a little bit slower, that is showing me that that's probably a good weight for you. So if you're flying through, okay, I'm done with 8 reps, we should probably increase the weight. Another way is if you are having a conversation with someone, let's say you're working out with somebody else, whether it's a friend or you're actually working with a trainer, and you're able to carry on a conversation, you're not even having to focus on what you're doing, that is another sign that maybe we should be increasing the weight. If there isn't a mind to muscle connection going on, we're just going through the movement, it's no problem, that's another sign to increase the weight. When clients come to me and they want to build muscle or gain strength, we follow what we call the RPE scale. So that is the rate of perceived exertion. This is going to be the scale that goes from 1 to 10, 10 being that's as high as you can go. You will not be able to do a single rep more, to 1 being pretty easy. And this kind of translates over into the RIR, which is reps in reserve. So when I use the RPE scale, we think about how many reps are left in the tank based on if 10 is the absolute max, so 0 reps left, then we go down to 9, 8, and 7. That is 1, 2, and 3 reps left in the tank, and that's generally the area that I have most of my clients in. We stay in this area because, again, if we want to be gaining strength and building muscle, we need to be lifting at a level where it is tough at the end. We could feel that we're making progress, and we are actually seeing that happen by pushing at those higher weights. Of course, there are going to be instances where you are in a lower or mid to RPE. So for example, if somebody is just coming back after traveling for a couple weeks or even a week, I might have them more at a RPE 6, so about 4 reps left in the tank, just to get the body moving again. And same thing if somebody is coming back from after a sickness, we might be quite a bit lower depending on how long they were out for and depending on how their body recovers. We might be at a lower level in order to work back up to that 7 to 9 range. Now, if you're wondering why do you not have people at an RPE 10, well, sometimes we do. We have max out weeks built into all of our hybrid training programs, just again so we can have a baseline of where we're at and to make sure that we are on track with whatever the strength goal is. Testing out an all-out level of RPE 10, so maxing out, can be really helpful in identifying a baseline for what your RPE 7, RPE 8, and RPE 9 are, because that is a skill to build over time. For example, I've been lifting for 13 plus years, but there are still times when I'm supposed to be at an RPE 7 and then accidentally max out, or vice versa, where I'm supposed to be maxing out and then I'm like, wow, I could have done 3 more reps there. So then that's a sign we need to increase the weight or adjust it depending on where you are at in that scale. Here at Kathletics, we do love using the RPE scale because it can be adapted to every single person and it can be adapted on the day of. So again, for if you were somebody that was sick and now you're going back into training and we want you at an RPE 6 to get back into it, that RPE 6 may feel a lot different than an RPE 6 2 weeks before when you weren't sick. So it's great because you can adapt and self-assess where you are that specific day rather than saying, oh, I used 80 pounds last week, I have to use 80 pounds again this week. You can say, oh, I used 80 pounds last week, but based on the RPE that's prescribed, I think I want to be more at a 75 or I need to be more at an 85, whatever that looks like week to week. Because as we know, the body is always changing, our surroundings, our environment is always changing. So that is going to impact how we perform in the gym as well. If you have questions on how to figure out what weight is best for you, leave them in the comments. Otherwise, if you're trying to take the guesswork out of your training, you can have the RPE prescribed right to you week by week. Make sure to check out our hybrid training programs listed in the description below. Otherwise, be sure to like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.